Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. Speaking of Tracy, it was her birthday yesterday, so a huge shout out and wishing her a happy birthday and a happy and a healthy year ahead. Now for the weather report. Cold, rainy, and rain here in a very long time. So even though it's gray and dreary and cold, it's a good thing because it is raining. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Well, it was your birthday. It was your birthday.
It's my birthday week. If you've been following, it's my birthday week. We're doing something every day for my birthday.
At my age, it's birthday month.
Oh, I can't wait to get to birthday month.
Yeah.
Yay!
It starts next year, just so you know. Tell everybody when you're 50, that's when it happens. Good morning.
Good
So anyway,
morning.
happy birthday. Tell us what you did for your birthday, because you did a few fun things.
I did. I did a lot of self-care this week, but last night I went to what's called a candlelight orchestra.
Oh, I saw
And
those ads. I've seen those ads.
yeah, it's by a group called Fever, and they do them all over the country. And there was one in East Hampton last night, and it was all of Adele's songs.
Oh.
And there's my mom conferred. There's about 1,000 candles or more all over the entire place, and they play in the center, and it was magical. It was so wonderful. And then we went out to dinner. In the middle of dinner, I was like, I forgot I used to do stuff like this. Like, this is so fun, just being out to dinner with friends and my family.
Which is why you're squeezing in an entire week of it.
Yes. And tonight, if anyone wants to join who's local, tonight I'm going to the Giving Room. They're doing restorative yoga at
Again,
5:30.
candlelight. There's candlelight involved there too.
I mean, I'm all about the candlelight at this age. 49 is the year of candlelight, apparently.
Next thing you'll be getting a jacuzzi and drawing a bath and
I mean, I'm on board for all
joining a book club. Who knows?
Yes.
Well, I'm excited because I do have a book club, and we call it the NOFO Book Club, and it's been going on. I think it's our third year, maybe it's our fourth. I don't even remember, but it's definitely 3 years. So I'm excited to have a bookstore on. Let's hop in. Let's introduce who you are and what you do.
Oh, goodness. Hi, Jocelyn, from a book place in Riverhead, right in front of Jerry and the Mermaid, right next to the Hyatt place, steps away from the aquarium. And we're a teeny tiny independent bookstore. We specialize in basically any generic books. We have everything from adult, children's, middle grade. We special order. I've been in the book industry since I was 14.
Wow.
I opened the Open Book, was my first store that I worked in with Terry Lucas. She's actually the director of the Shelter Island Public Library.
Where was the Open Book?
It was in West Hampton.
Okay.
I see.
It was in West Hampton on Main Street originally, and I was there for about a decade, and then I was a librarian in West Hampton for about 15 years.
So that makes perfect sense of the transition. So were you the type of kid that was always in a book, or did that come later?
Yes and no. So I'm dyslexic. So I love reading, but I see things differently. So I played sports. I did a little bit of everything. So it wasn't just that I loved reading, but it came hard to me, but it was an escape too. It wasn't that it wasn't that I just wanted to do it, but it was also something that it was downtime. Like if I didn't want to be overstimulated by having to do everything else, reading was an escape.
Yes.
So
I always
equate
reading with relaxation. To me, those two things are together. Yeah.
Well,
it was a way for my brain to decompress.
It's like a comforting escape, you know?
Yeah. So, and that's what I kind of have my store being. My store is kind of home. It's home. You walk in and there's a little bit of everything. I kind of have coined a little bit of a term called carefully curated chaos. Um, it's homey. So you walk into the store and it's a little bit of everything. You feel like you're walking into your home. I have it curated in the sense that I have a lot of local artists and crafters that have their things on consignment. They curate the store so that it goes with the books. We choose things that make very good gift items so that if you're looking for a gift for somebody that's very personal, you can choose a book, but also something that goes with it. You know, we have everything from household knickknacks, like little signs, to a pair of earrings, to little wine totes that are locally made. We have essential oil and crystal infused roll-ons that are made locally. We have 3D printed bookmarks that are made locally. We have just all sorts of things.
So your Instagram handle that says a book place boutique literally translates to what you are.
Yes.
You sell books, but you are also a boutique, if you
Yes.
will.
So my now 9-year-old named the store for me. When I was told that I had basically 5 weeks to open a store front. So I had my business for about 12 years that I never opened. I was a librarian. I knew I wanted to open something, but I just had never done it, and never pulled the trigger, really.
Well, but sometimes that time frame between the idea and the
Yep.
seed and the thought, it doesn't matter how long it takes, is kind of necessary, because when you go in day one, you're ready because you've been processing for so long.
So, and I wanted to find the right place. I never found my place. So I was walking my dog with my now 9-year-old, but at the time she was 7, and we were talking, and she goes, "Mom, you know, anywhere you are with your book is your book place." And I was like, "Girl, you speak to my heart." And we came and we were talking, and she's walking around and she's like, "Mom, yeah, this is your book place." And I was like, "Oh, God, girl." And she's like, "Yeah." And so we kind of did that. We took the nautical theme with the compass rose, and I was like, that just makes sense. And yeah, we kind of did that idea, and it makes us feel that way, you know, like you can bring a book anywhere. You know, we just feel that way about this place. When you walk in, you feel that way too. I know people that have come to visit and they message me, and they're in California or Arizona or wherever they are, and they're like, "Hey, you know, you mentioned a book and I didn't get it then, but can you ship it to me?" And I'm like, "Oh, sure." You know, and ironically, I do. I remember our conversations. I remember, you know, and I'm like, "Okay, great." And I am able to, it doesn't even have to come to me. I can ship it right to them from the distributor. So it's easy.
So you mentioned, you know, the difference in your daughter's age is 7 to 9. So how long have you actually been open?
It was 2 years, July 1st.
Okay. That's great. Congratulations.
Yeah. So, and I'm a mom of 3. So my kids have grown up the past 2 years. So my youngest is 5. I have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old now.
Wow. So talk a little bit about the challenges of having a storefront business while still having little kids and their schedules and their needs and their demands. Because I know Tracy doesn't have a storefront, but you are probably experiencing the same things she is, maybe 3 times over. I don't know which is easier, having one or having 3.
It's all a juggle. It's all a village. I need a village. Anybody else want to join the village? Oh my God. First off, thank you to everybody that helps. Yeah, it's a whirlwind.
But
you cannot do it.
But it also sounds like you have a great place for them to come hang out and just be, because they can be part of your life, and sometimes easier than others.
They love it. They do. Sometimes they don't love it as much because, you know, they are missing out on things. Like I just recently had to tell my 5-year-old he can't go to a birthday party because we don't have anybody A, to bring them, B, I'm already having something at the store that I need a body for, so he has to come. So that's, I feel bad that he's missing out on something with friends, but then also, like, it's going to be a family thing here.
Yeah, but
So
exactly, but we as parents feel bad that they're missing out something. But the reality is, he and she are getting different experiences that others aren't as lucky to get.
yep.
Yeah.
So it's all about, in the end, I think kids really are very resilient, and they don't care what they do as long as they're kind of doing it with you.
And it's just our perspective that they're missing out. When
Yeah.
I think about it later on, it's like, I didn't miss out because I don't remember what I missed out on.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yep.
That's so true.
So we don't, our perspectives change, as we get older, and we don't know what we didn't know.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about the books you carry, because
Sure.
you're near the aquarium and near, I'm assuming, and you have kids yourself, so you probably have a lot of kids' books, correct?
We have a good amount. Yep.
Okay. And then what other kinds of books do you carry?
Sure. We do focus a lot on local authors. In the past, and I mean, like 10 years ago or so, it was a big thing that it was hard to carry local authors and indie authors, because they were hard to sell. But nowadays, with Instagram and social media, because those authors are able to do such a great job at marketing themselves and sharing with the world and the communities their great work and how well their stories are told, they can come to me, and I'm able to vet and read their books and also share their stories and share who I can sell their books to. And that makes a great hand selling. And that's what independent bookstores are known for, is our ability to hand sell books. And so that niche that we're able to share with our communities is really great, because we're literally able to make such a great impact on just, hey, we have a community member, we have somebody local that has written this fantastic book. And just because it's not a bestseller doesn't mean that it won't make an impact, or it won't have a great story. And there's countless authors out there.
I wouldn't have thought about local book authors until this book club, and we've read a couple. I think the one that stands out for me is
I know which one you're gonna...
Mary, a Lighthouse Keeper. Oh my
Yes.
God, that was, what was great about it was the book was great because it was local about Southhold, but we were also able to set up the author to come to our book club. Actually, we went to the museum and the lighthouse and got a tour.
Awesome.
So I'm wondering, is that something you do at the store? Do you invite local authors to come
All
and
the
do a
time.
book talk and signing?
All the
So
time.
has Mary been there? Because if
Yes.
not, I would highly recommend it.
Yes. I'm fairly good friends with her. She's one of my favorite people. I adore her. And we've done a tour with her. She's come into the store. I've recommended several people getting her books. I actually had 2 authors here last night in the store. They're not, one of them is local. His name is Greg Wands. He grew up out here. He actually grew up in Sag Harbor area, and then his mom is also out here. And then Tessa Weigert, she is actually from Canada, and she wrote books around the Thousand Islands in New York, and she lives in Danbury. But they're friends. They are part of a mystery thrillers group that they peer read each other's books, and they have a newsletter. And so they work collectively together, and they do different events. And so they got together by going to the Hamptons Who's Done It event that happens. And I met both of them the past 2 years by going to that. And Tessa and I've become friends, and she's visited the store several times. And she wanted to do an event here, and her book just came out, her 6th book in her series, and she wanted to do an event on the book. And so we had a small intimate gathering last night, and they did a little discussion between the 2 of them, just talking about their collective works and how they write and their writing style, and kind of what's coming down the pipeline for the 2 of them, and mystery writing in general. And that's something that's really cool is when we have our little small intimate, because the store is only 750 square feet. So there's not a lot of room, but when we're small group, they can chat collectively just with these small people, like small group of people that are interested in writing, interested in just the small details of what it is to be an author. And you just do a little meet and greet, little apple cider, it was really, really sweet. And we just sat here in like little chairs and it was great.
So
But like we do things like that.
You've actually mentioned quite a lot about events. So how do people find out about the events that are coming up? How do they participate?
I'm working on that. I hate to say it, I'm so old-fashioned. I am resistant to a website. I'm working on it. I'm working on a landing page. I have Instagram and Facebook. That's the 100%. That's where you can find it. We just started a link tree on our Instagram. I just hired an amazing person. She is working in the store, Marissa, and she has turned me like 360 and has been doing an amazing job. So thank God. Thank you, Marissa. She just has really kicked my butt into gear and just started 100% like putting my events and stuff online. And we've gotten so much great response. But originally it was just you call the store and I share with you. Like I'm a chatter, so sharing that way. I guess I never really thought I was going to do like programs and events because I left the library system because I was doing all that type of stuff. And then when people started saying, hey, you should have this, you should do this. And I started being like, oh, sure, come stop by and we'll get together. And then I was like, oh, people wanted to do these things.
Yeah. What are the hours of the store for people to come stop by?
We're open 10 to 6 every day. And then sometimes we're open a little later. Okay. Like if Jerry's is busy and hustling and bustling, the door, because we're connected by a hallway with Jerry's, where if they're hustling and bustling, then we're open and I keep the door open. So there's been times I've been here till 9 o'clock.
Okay.
So I saw a couple of posts on Instagram that you host two things. One, do you have a book club?
Yeah.
And two, do you like a silent reading? What? Tell me more about that, because Tracy might be all about that.
I was like, wait, what? Can I come?
Anybody can come to Silent Book Club. It's basically silent reading. You come, you bring your own book, or you can purchase a book from my shelves if you don't have something to read specifically. And you take a seat and you read for about 45 minutes to an hour if we get carried away. And if you feel like chatting before or after, you can. If not, you can just chill.
So Tracy, it's like the silent disco we went to, except there's no dancing.
I am
Tracy,
so down for silent.
Can Tracy bring her own candle though? Because I feel like a theme happening here.
So we light little tea light candles. I have 2 Christmas trees in the store that have Christmas lights. My lights don't dim, but my lights are generally dim in general. And it becomes such a vibe in here. It's beautiful.
When do those happen? How often?
Once a month. And we try to do the 3rd Thursday, but this month, since it's with the holiday and everything, we're actually doing it next week, and it's the 26th, so it's Tuesday.
Okay, I am definitely in for one of these because that sounds right up my alley.
Yeah, and usually,
do you also have a regular book club? Yep. Sorry, just wanted to make sure we get all of it in.
Yes, we have regular book club. About I would say 12 to 20 people come every month, depending on the genre of the book and people's availability. We have 97 people in the book club.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I have 20, and that's challenging enough. But not all 20 show up, so it works out.
Yep. So I report back to about 97 people. This month we are doing 𝗕cie �11𝗲's Love Light Farms, which is a very light romance. We're meeting December 17th at 5:30. I have books available here. Book club members get 20% off the book. And you just let me take your name, phone number, email, and I put you in the computer, and then
So
you
wait,
just
how do
let
you
me
pick the
email
books?
you.
How do you pick
Um,
the books?
it's
Is
it's
it
not
is
a
it a
science.
democracy between 97 people?
No.
Okay, good.
Um, if I feel like reading it,
I just
if I can't figure out a book because I'm torn, we put it in a jar and then we pick.
well, we
I
try to put things in a jar too, but for some reason, from month to month, we don't have the last month's jar, so we start over every.
You know what it is?
We
I
need to
have
get better. We
20
need to make a
years.
list. We need a secretary. This needs to get more organized. I see a couple of my book club members on
No,
here. We're gonna get more.
no. You know what it is? Book club should be fun.
Yeah.
Reading should be fun. It should not be a stressful situation. I tell people this all the time. Last month, I had said, I'm going to give everybody a chapter, and you have to bring a question from that chapter, right? Because I got tired of making questions. I didn't hold everybody to that because I got nervous that people weren't going to think it was fun. I've been doing this for over 20 years, book clubs, various book clubs. I mean, sometimes I have 3 book clubs, sometimes I have 2, sometimes I have 7 book clubs that I moderate or share with. And I love it, but I love it because it's whimsical and it's fun and it's not generic.
I
And
agree. If it's not fun, then it's So that's why I think each month we don't have a set pattern. Sometimes
no,
we pick 3 books in a row because we like so
mm,
many and we don't want to give it
yeah,
up. But I think each one has its own energy, and every month a different subset of people show up to yours, right?
yep.
So the conversation can just flow based on who's there.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's so wonderful because it's different personalities. And sometimes, like, we have 2 gentlemen that do tend to come. They haven't been recently, but I hope they come back if they're on here. Um, and I think when they do come, they add so much to our book club. And usually they don't agree with us. And I
Interesting.
love it. I love it because they challenge us and they do make us think a little bit differently. And I always walk away saying, I appreciate their insistence on giving me a different perspective. And that's what I love about books. You know, like I'm a mood reader, so I read based on like a feeling that I get or a temperament that I feel like in the atmosphere of the world, which is interesting. But I also read for comfort and for a stability reason. And I read to make my atmosphere feel better, and enjoyment. And I tell people when they come into my store, I've been known that people are like, oh, I want to read this book. And I'm like, but do you? You know, I have a different book that, like, my books tend to pop out. Like, if you're looking for something and I'm like, I don't think you should read that. And I've been known to tell somebody, like, they'll come up to me and they'll be like, oh, I guess I'll get this one. And I was like, well, you can't guess. Like, this book you have to take a book that means something, because if you're just guessing, that book could go to somebody else. Somebody
Now,
else might really, really want that.
how do you make that sort of assessment to someone who's a stranger coming into your shop? Is it
They're
just a
strangers.
feeling? Wow.
Yeah, they're strangers. So like I'm not losing anything and they're not losing anything. You know, if they're coming in and they're like, "Oh, I'll get this book," and they don't give me any indication that it's like a maybe, then sure, they can have it. But if they come over and they're like, "What should I read? I don't know."
Yeah.
I've been doing this for so long. I mean, I used to do it all the time in the library. And I mean, I wasn't losing anything in the library, but here, if somebody leaves with a book that they don't like, that's me losing money. They're never coming back.
Yeah.
You know? I, I can't do that. I can't let you leave with a book that you're not going to like.
I love this idea. I think, and assuming I can sell this to my book club, I think we'd like to pick a month. We'd like to pick a month where we let you pick the
Yeah.
book and see if our book club will like it.
So I do that. I have book clubs. They come into the store. They rent the store. I rent the store, the space for 2 hours, and I book talk books, or we have authors come and visit, or we have a crafter and they come and do a themed craft based around the story that you've done, or we just plan something in the shop. But I've done all sorts of things where we've done stuff like that. I have,
We keep talking about field trip, and like I said, the only one
yeah,
we've done so far is the one to the museum with
yeah,
the book author. But this might be a fun road trip. Maybe we'll get
yeah.
ramen,
We've done
buy
all sorts.
you.
We've done all sorts of things here. I've had a couple of book clubs. I've done birthday parties here for adults and kids.
Oh,
I do. A lot of people call and say, I need a hostess gift for around $30. Can you put something together? These are 3 things that they like, and we do little packages. I do blind date with a book, so I get a lot of teachers that need, you know, secretary gifts for their teacher secretaries, or a lot of people from the courts. They need gifts for, the court secretaries and stuff. And they're like, I need X, Y, and Z. And we do a lot of those type of things.
well,
We love doing it.
our book club also does a grab bag in December. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that your store might be the perfect place to pick up something that a book lover
Yep.
would like.
So
Yeah. We
I
love
have this
doing stuff.
habit. I have this habit on this show of like brainstorming business ideas for people who don't know me but are on the show. So
Perfect.
I think that you should pair up with Mike from North Fork Scavenger Hunt to
Yes.
do a scavenger hunt based on the local author books that you have,
Love it.
and they just
Love
go,
it.
right? Wouldn't that be fun?
So
I
I have an idea book, and I had that idea also with a friend of mine who does a foodie blog, and she wanted to do something with local authors and some of the food restaurants. And I was like, we should tie in Mike.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to really get in touch with him without doing something on Instagram.
We can
Oh,
put you in touch.
with
That's what this show is
if
about.
you
That's exactly what this is about.
if you think you're a chatter, wait till you talk to Mike, and you and him could chat and come up with 50
Perfect.
ideas. And I mean it in a good way. I love
Thank
Mike.
you.
I think it's he's so easy to talk to,
So easy to talk to.
And the stories, that's such a crazy, when the show started, it's so weird. As you were speaking, Jocelyn, I was waiting for you, Tracy, for your wheels to start turning. So
Connecting the dots. I love it.
Yeah.
this is
I was
awesome.
I
It's
was
so
gathering
exciting.
information the whole time, and then it just I was like, I got it.
Thank you.
Well, let's go right into our North Fork NOFO Live 5. So if you were going to take Sunita and I out to lunch or dinner, where would you choose to take us?
Well, I would probably say Jerry's right next door. I'm a big fan of their chicken franchise. But for
Ooh.
lunch, they're right now their French onion soup is really good, and my 9-year-old loves their chicken wings. So
Their food is actually pretty good.
Yep.
I mean, I don't go there
Yep.
often, but when I do go, their decor is so fun. But I'm
it's fun.
reminded that their food is
Yep.
actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Their food is tasty. So I'd go there. But my husband and I really love the Barrow, and we like to take it down to Iron Pier in the summer.
Oh, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Those are my two
at the Barrow
faves.
Food House. That
Yeah.
I've never done. I should try that. I've done that with Chinese because the Chinese is near Veterans Park, so I pick up Chinese. And go. But I've never thought of doing that with Barrow
Yeah.
House. Okay, sunrise or sunset? What do you catch?
There is. It depends on when I decide to go to sleep or wake up. I don't know. I love both of them. I can't decide. Depends on what side of the island I'm on.
Well, you mentioned Iron Pier. Iron Pier has a great sunset.
Yeah, but I live on the South Fork. Like, I live in East Murchison, so
Yeah.
So you catch. Yeah, you can't beat it on the ocean. I agree.
which side I'm on.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah.
Cocktail, mocktail, winery, brewery. Where would we find you?
So I'm a tequila drinker. But if I had to pick a winery, my husband and I are part of Oldfield.
Oh,
Yeah.
I finally went there this year, and it really is charming just to see the chickens.
Yeah.
I know.
Literally, they just have free reign.
I know.
It's very.
And Roz is amazing. We've been members there. I think this is our 4th year. We've been getting it for our anniversary every year. So it's our little like date in September, and then we do our anniversary. Like, that's our gift to us. So
It's definitely outdoorsy. The views are very cute, very
It's
charming.
adorable.
I
And
love it.
they
I like it.
fixed up their little like tasting room with the little fireplaces, so it's really cozy to go in the winter.
Oh,
And
that sounds
if
lovely.
you haven't gone, people start flooding them because it's
Yeah,
wonderful. Sorry,
I
Rob.
haven't been to the inside, but the outside was beautiful because I went
Yeah.
in summer and it was beautiful in the outside.
Wonderful.
So
Absolutely wonderful.
So when you're leaving the book place and you're on your way home to go cook, what are some farm stands that you hit up?
Olish's in Eastport.
Say the name
My
again.
favorite. What?
Say the name again. Okay.
It's right in Eastport. So you take 51, you make a left, and then it's right by the Triangle Pub.
Okay. What do
I
you
guess,
like?
Tracy, you're going to have to discover that on the next trip to your sister.
What do you like to get there?
Oh my goodness. Well, they make a raspberry pie, but you have to special request it.
Okay.
That's a good tip.
Which is my husband's favorite.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
But they're, oh my goodness, they have so many baked goods. They have beautiful bouquets of flowers. But I mean, they have chickens and goats that are running around. But everything's really good. They have like cheeses and quiches that are fresh.
That sounds great.
They've really just grown. I mean, it's been there since. So I'm from East Merches. I grew up in East Merches. Went to school in East Merches. My mom taught. I taught in East Merches. Like my kids go there now, so it's been there forever. So they went from like a little tiny itty bitty farm stand to like now 35 years later, they have just been family owned and have done amazing. And to see that flourish and support it, I love it. And it's just like I said, on the way here, on the way home, and I buy things for like book clubs. Anytime I have events, I stop there to bring stuff.
That's great. Well, tell us why you and the book place love being a part of the North Fork.
I could cry. No single reason. I've been welcomed with open arms. It's home. It's cozy and warm, and I think even though I grew up on the South Shore, this is the middle, it's a heart. And I like having the best of both worlds, being in Riverhead. I like being a space where I can bring coziness, but also joy to a lot of people. People come in here and just sit and talk a lot, which feeds my soul. But I also like to be doing something that I love. So being a part of something that a town needed, I think Riverhead wanted and needed something that I'm giving.
Yes.
And I think that's really important. And I'm grateful to be a part of that.
Yes. Well, as someone who lives in and near Riverhead, we are very happy to have you. And
thank you.
And my mom loves going into your store. She gets a lot of gifts in there, so we're very happy to have you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you're making my heart emotional because it's totally clear that you love what you're doing. And we're grateful that you opened this beautiful place. I'm sorry I haven't been in there before, but you have so inspired me to stop in at the first opportunity I have. And like Tracy said, she lives at that end. So we're always, trying to meet up or someplace. I think, Tracy, this will be our next gathering place. We'll bring our coffee. We'll hang out and
love that.
do some silent reading.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes.
Next Tuesday, 6:00.
Okay.
Thank you,
Come on over.
Jocelyn.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
so much.
Thank you, guys.
Have a great weekend.
you.
We'll see you all next
You
week.
too. Thank
Bye.
you.